Hello, Central Atlantic Conference. My name is Reverend Marvin Silver, and I serve as the Associate Conference Minister for Justice and Witness Ministries.
Hi, my name is Reverend Terry Yasuko Ogawa, and I serve as your campaign organizer for the Faith and Democracy 2020 campaign of the Justice and Witness Action Network.
Thank you for taking the time to receive this important message from us. Back in March of this year, our Justice and Witness Action Network, a grassroots advocacy network of justice leaders, clergy, and local churches from across the conference, launched the Faith and Democracy 2020 campaign. This is a nonpartisan campaign engaging our justice leaders, clergy, and local churches in the critical justice ministry of civic engagement, including voter registration, the 2020 census, voter education and empowerment, and get out the vote. Yes, local churches and clergy can and should engage in the democratic process of our nation and support the general public's participation as well. Federal law states that religious organizations are prohibited from partisan political activity. This means supporting or opposing any candidate for public office. But it doesn't prohibit nonpartisan political activity, especially supporting the general public's participation in elections. The central organizing principle of the Faith and Democracy 2020 campaign is that every person has a right and opportunity to vote and participate in the 2020 census without fear, intimidation, limitations, and false information. And as a people of faith called to engage in public life and work for justice and liberation of God's people, our vote and participation in the 2020 census serves as a powerful tool to rid our communities of injustice, racism, and inequity.